Hello students and welcome back to our Analyzing English video series. In this 13th video in our series, we're going to shift over to grammar. And this is a topic that I've heard from native English speakers as kind of a confusion for those who grew up with the language. It can be a little bit challenging even for native speakers and especially for non-native speakers to learn about prepositions of place. And I'm going to cover three of them that cause the most confusion, because some of them can be used in different settings, or there's not one right answer sometimes it's more than one answer. So we're going to talk about in, at, and on, and we're also going to use supportive words with in, at, and on to bolster the knowledge here of what we're going over. So we're going to talk about prepositions of place, but we're going to focus using visual aids here. We have a image. This is from an exercise. I think it's widely shared. It just shows coffee shop, the bank, city hotel, the bookstore, and a church, I believe. And then we have the road in front of all five locations. So what my plan is with you all is to let's work together to avoid confusion or avoiding confusion with prepositions of place, in, at, and on, because I think this topic, we're going to deep dive into the language, why it relates to the physical presence that we have, the physical location in terms of how we use in, at, or on. So we're going to talk about that and much more using examples. We're going to go through the image, talk about the image. We're going to go through the examples I have prepared in advance of sentences. And I want to just highlight to you all why we can use more than one in certain situations, certain sentences. So my name is Ben with English from A to Z, and let's get started. So kicking off here, it was just one slide today. I know I've done a few slides in each of my videos, but I just want to get right to it. Again, we have the image, coffee shop, bank, city hotel, books, church. I'm going to use an example of a preposition of place for each one so you know which one to look for. Let's start out with I am in. I am in the bank. Okay, so if you're physically inside the bank, you got to think of it like your physical location. You know, if you're at the bank, you're going to be in front of the bank or behind the bank. If you're at the bank, you're physically located near or close to the bank. But if you're in the bank, you're physically inside the location, which in this case is the bank. So I am in the bank. That's our first example. I am on the street. Okay, if you're in the street, I've heard people say I'm in the street. That can work too. I'm not going to say that's wrong. Here's the confusion here. But sometimes, and I believe this is true, you can use more than one preposition of place. So, but I think the best usage though for these prepositions is I am on the street. I am in the street. It's kind of like you're physically in the street, right? You're kind of you're physically located inside the street, like you're burrowed in there somehow. It makes me laugh. Because you're on the street, you're on top of the street. You're not in the street. You're not physically knee deep or buried deep in the street. That's how I like to think of it. Think of it for those of you watching at home. So I am on the street. Okay, another one that you could say I am on the road. That's true. I am in the road. I'm not going to say either one is wrong. Okay, I've heard native speakers use both on and in for the road and the street. I guess technically I am on the road works better, but you're going to hear I am in the road. If you're like, I think of it this way. If you're driving the car, you're driving on the road. But if you're walking in the road. So hopefully that helps. Walking in the road, driving on the road. So in the road, I'll accept, this is just my personal perspective as a teacher and as a business founder here at English from A to Z. I accept I am in the street, or I am on the street, I am on the road, or I am in the road. So that's where the confusion can come from. But both are acceptable. In this case, I would use on for the street here or the road, but I'm okay with two personally. Okay, moving on, at. I am at the bookstore. It's like being at the bank. You're kind of in front of, or maybe you're behind. And we're going to go to the next one, on. But I am at the bookstore. You're at the bookstore. You're in front of, you're near to. You're not inside yet. You're not on top of the bookstore. You're at the bookstore. You're waiting there. You're meeting a friend there, etc. So I am at the bookstore. Here's where it gets a little tricky again. Okay, so you could say I am in the coffee shop when you're in the coffee shop, but if you're on the coffee shop, you're going to be on top of the coffee shop. You don't want to say I am on the coffee shop. That doesn't make any sense. But maybe there's a roof, maybe there's a patio, something like that. I am on the patio. I am on top of the coffee shop. I am on top of the patio. Whatever. I am on top of. But the key thing to keep in mind here, folks, at home is I am on top of. You don't say I am on the coffee shop. That doesn't make any sense. You could say I am on top of the coffee shop. I am on the roof of the coffee shop. I am on the patio of the coffee shop. So you get an idea. But on is there has to be a supportive word here, a supportive descriptive, not descriptive verb, but descriptive adjective. I am on top of the coffee shop. Next is a little easier. There's a rooftop here. Definitely most hotels have rooftop. Let's say this is the rooftop, okay? You can walk around. It's not just for maintenance people. You can have a drink, a coffee, a tea, some snacks. You're on the hotel rooftop. You're not in the rooftop. You're on the hotel rooftop. You could say I am at the rooftop. Here's another thing not to avoid confusion. You could tell your friend or someone in your family, look, meet me at the hotel rooftop. That works too. I want you all to keep in mind, it's not just one or the other. It could be one, two, maybe even all three. Rarely is it all three, but in this case, I am at the hotel rooftop. But in this case, I think the most popular use you're going to find in the English language, I am on the hotel rooftop. I am at the hotel rooftop is also acceptable, and I'm glad I remembered that. It's hard to keep track of, but one of the things I want you all to take away from this video is that you can use more than one preposition of place depending on the location or where you are at the location. There you go, at the location. So I am at the hotel rooftop. We're getting close to the end here, but I want to go over two more examples. I am in front of the hotel entrance, okay? It could be in the back of the hotel entrance. I am in front of the hotel entrance, or I am in the back. Here's another thing. I am at the back of the hotel entrance. For me, that is correct. I am at the back of the hotel entrance, or I am in the back of the hotel entrance. I think either one could work. But for the sake of continuity, let's go with I am in back of the hotel entrance. So in back or behind the hotel entrance. I am behind the hotel entrance. We're not going to cover behind or in front of. We're covering in front of. Let's skip behind for now. We'll stick to the three. But again, I am in front of the hotel entrance, or I am in back of. Like front and back. As you know, front in front of something, back behind something. Back of, in this case, I am at the back of the hotel entrance, or I am in the back of the hotel entrance. Again, in and out to me works. Lastly, I am at the church, right? Could be in front of the church, could be in back of the church, but I am at the church. You don't say if you're in the church, you're physically inside the church. You're on the church rooftop, probably not. I do not recommend. But in this case, I am at the church, or I am in the church. Certain locations are going to have one or two prepositions, like at or in. Sometimes with the hotel, on top of the hotel rooftop, or I am on top of the hotel. Sometimes you'll be on the patio of the coffee shop. That could work too. So again, folks, just keep in mind, to avoid confusion, you can use sometimes two prepositions, at or in, or on and in. Really depends on each setting. But we have the coffee shop, the bank, the city hotel, the bookstore, and the church. And again, like I said, there can be two prepositions, not usually all three for a location or a part of the location, but keep in mind you could use sometimes I am on the street, or I am in the street, I am in the bank, I am at the bank, right? Or I am on the rooftop of the coffee shop, or I am on the coffee shop patio. That works. And then I am on top of the hotel rooftop, or I am in front of the hotel entrance, or I am at the back of the hotel. That's a rare example where, depending on where you are, within physical distance of the hotel, you could use in, at, or on. So that's about it. I think I covered everything I wanted to do with this avoiding confusion with prepositions of place, in, at, on. We have a whole grammar course. Please check it out. As well, we have beginner, intermediate, advanced grammar courses where we cover prepositions and many other topics. I will include a link below this video on YouTube for our grammar courses, each of them, beginner, intermediate, advanced. Also, you'll probably be seeing an image right now of a cover image of one of our courses. Please let me know if you're interested in one of our grammar courses. It relates really well to this Analyzing English video. Please subscribe and hit the like button if you enjoyed this video on our English from A to Z YouTube channel. I love doing these videos. This one I wanted to focus on. I don't do many grammar videos, but I thought this one was important for our Analyzing English video series. Thanks again so much for watching. Please remember to subscribe, and thank you again, and hope to keep learning with you all soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.